welcome to this, and this will be my review for Ring of Honor's 8th anniversary show, which I have had this DVD and been meaning to do this review since WrestleMania weekend. Just haven't done it, so now we're going to do it. First thing about the show is that, and I agree with what Sanders Robbins said. He said on my video that he actually liked SoCal Showdown a little bit more than this. I think both shows were just about as good, but SoCal Showdown, in my opinion, was the funner show. I think this had the better. Main event, in my opinion. This had a really, really great classic main event. Really, really enjoyed it. So there you go. Even though I think I gave them both the same ratings, I do think that Austin Aries' entire Black Year was a little bit more, was a little better. Just a tad bit, so there you go. You had, let's see, we started off with the Roderick and Brian Kendrick, which right away I saw one of the things that kind of bothered me about this DVD was the crowd mic seemed to be very low. You could turn off the commentary, and then I still had to turn up the volume. So there were parts where the crowd was dead, and I think that may have had to do with 8th anniversary. I think there may have been, reminded me a lot of the first Pierce shows where you had people basically waiting to shit on stuff. So I think that may have been part of it. But also the crowd, the mics on the crowd just didn't seem to be very high, and particularly if you have the commentary on, the commentary seems to be a lot louder than what the crowd noise and what the ring noise is, which kind of bothered me a bit. And also there's some weird camera angles for this show, and be kind of weird. You know, since we've seen Big Bang, and I didn't notice any of these problems really during Big Bang. I don't know if it was just this show. I guess we'll have to wait and see, but it just was kind of strange to me. But we did get Roderick versus Brian Kendrick. I thought this was good, not too great. Brian Kendrick was still kind of doing his WWE-esque type thing, which is fine, because it really doesn't work on the Indies, really doesn't work in Ring of Honor. You know, he's kind of been doing this in TNA as well, and I just don't think it works as well. And he's been away from WWE long enough to where you would think that he would stop doing a lot of this sort of stuff, but it just didn't come off very well to me. Roderick looked good as usual, but I did think it was a good match. I didn't like it as much as some people did, but I did think it was a good match. So there we go there. Then we had the Kings of Wrestling versus the Verrado brothers. This was basically, you know, your showcase match for the Kings of Wrestling. Though the Bravado brothers did get in some shots and did get some moves in, and so it was somewhat competitive. It wasn't a complete squash, but it was still good. I thought it was an okay little match. They went out there, got its job done, and really set up, you know, the fact that the Kings of Wrestling were the deal and what they were about. So that was good. Then we got Eddie Kingston and Necro Butcher taking on Erick Stevens and Joey Ryan, and your basic Necro Butcher brawl. I really wish they would change this up a little bit, or at least try to come up with some a little bit better. All of these kind of Necro Butcher brawls keep kind of morphing into the same match, and it's like you've seen the same match over and over and over and over again. Very seldom is there anything new added. Very seldom is there anything that's like sticks out. And I like Necro Butcher, and I like pretty much everybody in this match. So but it felt pretty flat to me. So there we go. Then we got J. Mark Briscoe taking on the Dark City Fight Club. This was a competitive match. I wouldn't say it was a great match, but it was a good competitive match. The Dark City Fight Club looked good. J. Mark Briscoe, you know, kind of made them look good. Kind of made it look like at least they belonged in the ring with them. This probably would have came off a little better on TV, in my opinion, than on a DVD, but that's just me. But still was a good match. Nothing really wrong with it. Then we got El Generico and Davey Richards. This was great, as you would expect. They went out there, did all their stuff, hit all their moves. The ending sequence was really great stuff, and really, I think, set Davey up to be to show where they're pointing Davey. Even though I do hope that they keep the American Wolves together, because I think a really good angle would be the fact that they think they're so much better than everyone else that they want to hold all the titles. They want one team that holds all the titles, and I think that would be, even if they don't achieve it, I think it would be a good a good storyline that fits both guys. So there you go there. Then we got Kenny King and Delirious Kenny King versus Delirious, Steve Corino, and Rasche Brown in a four corners match, it basically was a four-way. And this was okay, not as good as I would have expected. Corino was kind of going over heel and was doing a lot of eye raking and that sort of stuff. So kind of, you know, and I so to me that kind of hurt the match. You know, and Rasche Brown, while I like him, he is somewhat limited, so that's why. So there was that too, and then you had Kenny King was out there doing his athletic stuff, and Delirious was doing, you know, his stuff. It was okay. It wasn't anything horrendous. It was still enjoyable, I thought. So there you go. And Delirious somehow wound up with a pick 6 spot, which kind of confuses me. But anyways, then we got Kevin Steen and Colt Cabana. And basically what was a long segment to set up the Steen and Hero Cabana Delirious feud. I think it did a really good job. I think it really it ratcheted up the feud to make it more than a feud, make it seem more like a feud, which is good. So this was a good segment. Probably more of a TV segment, but that's okay. It was still a good segment, I thought. And then we got Austin Aries versus Tyler Black, with, of course, the idea was, since the last match went to a draw, that they would have the 3 judges there at ringside, which were Kenny King, Roderick Strong, and James Cornette, which, you know, didn't really play a big factor into it. You did have the ending sequence, which I'm sure most people have seen, because they've, you know, ROH has shown it, where Tyler super kicks Roddy after Roderick basically saved Tyler from Kenny King, and then James Cornette jumps up to tell him, you know, hey, he was trying to help you, and then he super kicks him. Then the crowd, literally, which was already way into this match, goes even more nuts, because they're like, he's finally going to win, and he finally wins, as most people already know. So there was that, and that really, really great match. Probably one of the better matches Ring of Honor's put on in a long time, I thought. Really felt they went out there and did what they needed to do, and really, really great stuff, and really set up, really just, and, you know, not only, you know, got Tyler the belt, but also set up the storylines with Austin Aries and Roderick Strong at the same time, so that was good too. Really good main event. Really great show. A great show, I thought. Not a blow-away show by any stretch of the imagination, but definitely a show worth getting, I think. And with that, I'm out. Have a good one, and later.